next on our list, we'll look at, of course, we have looked at the issue of local government autonomy.
Yes.
You know, in the past.
Yes.
But it's a continuous series of that. We also, because event continues to unfold along that line.
Yes.
And during this week, we saw the issue in River State.
Yes.
You know, where we have two factions.
Yes.
The faction of the present governor, the caretaker that have been instituted, and the faction of the elected local government representative whose tenure have expired.
Yes.
But by virtue of the law passed by the House of Assembly, which extended their tenure for 6 months, they felt that their tenure was still subsisting since that law was duly passed, but the governor seemed to have a different opinion. You know, and we had this clash between the two factions claiming rights, you know, to the local government. So what is the legal implication of all of this?
Well, thank you very much. The issue in River State, the crisis there is, you know, taking different dimensions, as we can all see. First, last week, the governor of River State dissolved the elected local government officials. He dissolved the 23 local government officials and put in place caretaker committee to man all the local government councils. And there are, you know, unusual events surrounding these actions. One, the Inspector General of Police dispatched police officers to man the local government councils. And the question is, what business has the police got to do with the issue of the local government councils? The Inspector General of Police, on an occasion, explained that the presence of police at these local government council offices is simply to ensure peace and security pending the time that a court of competent jurisdiction will give judgment or order in relation to the local government council in River State. Well, some people have looked at it that it appears the police is trying to dance to one side, leaving the other side. But then let's also look at this, the whole issue sequentially. The Constitution in Section 7, our Constitution, when I say Constitution, I mean the 1999 Constitution as amended, and Section 7 has guaranteed duly elected local government councils, democratically elected. The question that we need to address is, can the governor unilaterally dissolve the council and put in place unelected officers as caretaker committee? The answer to that question has already been, you know, settled in a long line of cases where the Supreme Court has said that governors do not possess the authority under the law to dissolve elected local government officials. To that extent, the action of the governor is not in tandem with the clear provisions of the Constitution, particularly Section 7 of the Constitution. What the governor ought to have done in the circumstances is to call for an election on the expiration of the term of the SY local government officials. Since the Supreme Court has said a number of cases that what the law envisaged is elected local government officials, not caretaker committees. And of course, that is the reason why the Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, has gone to the Supreme Court to get an order to compel the governors to comply with the provisions of the Constitution as far as local government councils is concerned.
Yeah, but one would want to ask, because now the issue was that their tenure had expired.
Yes, I was about coming to the issue of the expiration of their tenure. Yes, so long as their tenure has expired, like I said earlier, briefly though, the proper action is before the exact date or expiration of their tenure to conduct election. That is the proper thing to do. Now, the other side of the coin is that the Rivers State House of Assembly passed a law which had the effect of elongating the tenure of the office of the local government council chairman. Now, we need to interrogate in the circumstances, does it lie within the powers of the local government, of the River State House of Assembly members to pass a law that has the effects of changing the expiration dates of the council chairman duly elected? So long as the local government council is created by the constitution and there is a definite term, 4 years, at the expiration of that 4 years, it is not proper in circumstances for the State House Assembly to go ahead and give them extra 6 months by way of tenure elongation. That is my view on that.
Okay, that's very interesting to know. But then, what would the governor have done? Should this expired? Since the governor had not, obviously have not done an election, so in view of the fact that election has not been called for, election has not been conducted,
Yes.
and the tenure has expired.
Yes.
So was the governor not right to have appointed caretaker to man it pending an election will be done?
Well, like I said earlier, the proper thing for a governor to do is to ensure that the election is conducted before the expiration of the tenure. However, since the tenure of the elected local government chairman have expired, and in governance, in administration, there cannot be a vacuum, then what is left is for the governor to have taken the step of putting caretaker committees. And then what the intriguing thing about the caretaker committee has put in place is that they are to operate from anywhere. I heard him on television saying that the chairman, some of them cooperate from their houses, from their homes, or from anywhere. Since the councils, the secretariat of the various three local government councils are presently manned by police officers that don't allow access of the offices to anybody. What it means is that those that have been appointed as caretaker committees that have been duly sworn in and have been asked to proceed to work are working from their various places. There's no place you can now identify as their offices, because like what the governor said, he said he does not believe in violence or confrontation and that they should not confront anybody. So we can say, well, in view of the circumstances and having at the background the crises that have bedeviled that state, I say, well, and also coupled with the fact that the governor said that immediately they will put in place machinery for the election of duly, of a local government chairman, which means, he said, by the following day, that process ought to have taken off, commenced, which means that is aware that what the law guarantees, especially the Constitution, is democratically elected council chairman, not those that are appointed by the governor.
Okay, but on a quick one, what we want to know, because I'm sure the viewers will want to know, that this elected local government council chairman that are fighting, is it in their place to fight for the Constitution? Because from what you have said, their tenure has expired.
Yes.
So if the governor was in breach of the law for not conducting election or calling for election timeously, is it in the place of this this vacating local government chairman to fight for the Constitution or to compel the governor to do an election, or should they have just gone and then and allow the law to take its course?
It does not lie in the mouth of those who were sworn after the election to uphold the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and by virtue of that oath, it is clear that their tenure was for 4 years certain. At the expiration of that tenure, they are bound to vacate their offices. It is not for them to cling on to power that no election has been conducted. It does not lie in their mouth. Now, on the other side of the coin, since the governor could not put in place machinery for the conduct of election before the expiration, and that has commenced presently, I believe what the officers whose tenure are expired ought to do in circumstances is to go to hand over and move ahead with their lives. If they want to recontest, if the law allows them, they can recontest.
Okay, that is so the law. It is not in their place to have to be fighting for.
No.
At the local government. Okay, well, with me on phone this evening is Barrister William Sidney Santana. He's a US-based legal practitioner. He will be giving his opinion on this issue. Barrister William, we welcome you to Democracy and the Rule of Law. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thanks for having me.
All right. So without much ado, we'll go into the nitty-gritty of today's episode. We are discussing the local government autonomy vis-a-vis the issue of tenure elongation and caretaker committee that was constituted by the Rivers State governor and the crisis that was generated by that singular act. So what is your opinion concerning all of these issues vis-a-vis the issue of local government autonomy in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. My opinion regarding this matter is that what I believe the National Assembly or some politicians are considering at this time to have the local autonomy be eroded or subjugated or even cancelled altogether is antithetical to the Constitution. For every democracy is right from the grassroots, from the local government authority. Like we copy our presidential system of government from the rest of America. The government of presidential government in the US is based on grassroots, the autonomy of local government. Every local government is autonomous. Basically, even the city within the local government is autonomous. What do I mean by that? Let's take, for example, a city like in the state. Or we have a commission, it will be a city commission. Within a city commission, there will be a mayor, what we call a mayor. That will be the chairman of that commission. Each member of that commission are elected from the various zones within a zone. So when you divide it into 3 or 4 zones, each commissioner will be elected from that zone. And that city has the autonomy to hire its own police department. I'm not talking about like we are national police force. The city has its own police. They are the one that provides security for that city. The city, the police cannot go to Oka or go to any other city to arrest anybody. They are based in the area. The chairman of the commission of a commission into the city is the one that hired the police chief. Report to the police chief. So, for example, if you have been watching US movie, you will see a lot of police cars that will send, for example, Baltimore Police Department or Atlanta Police Department. We even say that Miami Police Department. That means that the city is the police. So, for example, if there's a mission police department and that police officer arrest somebody or take somebody in motion and they go to the next municipality, it will be like Oshodi.
Okay.
We cannot arrest that person at that time. So they have to get the Oshodi municipality quickly. That's how grassroots the local government are. They get to use their own money, they get money from the state or the federal government, but they are very autonomous. And they are elected based on that. Everyone knows their city commissioner is. So the road is bad, when it's closed, they know where to go to. And when that city commissioner will not perform when you take a 4 years, they will be voted out. Just when you accept that. That's why US or other countries are still developed because the grassroots are developed. So all this new and going on now of elimination of local government authority or the governor is controlling or suspending local government or chairman, today is just incredible that this is happening in Nigeria. You cannot go forward with this. What is happening in that area right now is very disheartening. Where the governor is trying to suspend or trying to place his own chairman in place that they have been doing some other things. Particularly they have heard the governor of Anambra State saying that they only support local government autonomy. That is like, so why do you have tribe government in the constitution? Federal, state, local government. So local government is not subordinate. It's subordinate certain aspect of the state, but they are autonomous on their own.
All right,
they should be together.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Arya, can I quickly get, since you mentioned the comment by the former governor of Central Bank and the present governor of Anambra State, which have said that... hello, are you with me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Which have said that the issue of local government autonomy should not be the business of the federal government, of the National Assembly to legislate on, that the state governor should in a federal system, and he cited the US that you currently refer, that there's nothing like local government autonomy, that is within the state to organize the local government the way they deem fit. Since you're operating from US, we want to get some clarification from that jurisdiction on how they operate their local government.
So what I was saying to you is that local government authority is an independent entity, not controlled by the state, not controlled by the federal. They are created by the constitution. You have local government elections. You have city council elections. So the state doesn't have any control. The only time the state governor can interfere in the local government official, like the commissioner or the council, like the councilman, is in the committed an act of criminal act that they arrested them or they were indicted. Then they can sustain them pending the duration of that criminal litigation. That is it. The government have no control. They have their money directly. For example, anytime there's a tax or taxes is what a lot of government run by. In the property tax in the local government, a portion of that money will be distributed. Some to the cities, some to the schools. That's how it is. The mayor of that city controls the funding, and the mayor does not report to the local government chairman. And local government chairman does not report to the state governor on any matter. They control their own jurisdiction, and they don't interfere with that. Any budget is coming, the state legislature, they budget money for the local government. They budget money to the state. And from that, even the budget money to the cities. In some instances, the money to the local government, and then they are now distributing the money to each of the city government, because city have its own government. Every city have their own government. They have their own power, the power company that supplies power to that city. Mushin city can have its own power company that will supply power to them, and they contract with that power company. If that power company supply, they are not good enough, they decide them after the contract, then they will hire another power company. They not the issue with power company like supplying power to Oshobi. They say them supply power to us in Mushin as well. That's how it goes over there. It's very autonomous, and that's how a country can be better off. It's from bottom up, not top down, as we have in this country. Everything in this country can be top down. Even from the police department, from the IG, all the way down, everything is controlled. Autonomy starts from the city.
All right, Mr. Williams, your point is well noted. We needed that clarification because we have had a little bit of mix-up on how this thing operates in the past show. So we also want, what would be your advice, and what do you think has been the greatest challenge? Because the Constitution of Nigeria seems to grant an autonomy. I'm sure the court has also ruled on the autonomy of the local government severally, and the Constitution has also done its own bit, by saying that there has to be a democratically elected local government council. And of course, even in the revenue sharing formula, the local government has its own fair share, of the total revenue that comes to the federation. So in your own opinion, what would you think, first, there's two questions. What would you think will be the way forward? Or what do you think has been the militating factor, concerning local government authority, autonomy in Nigeria? And secondly, concerning the issue in Rivers State, what would your advice be? Because the issue seems to be a little bit, muddled up. The tenures of the local government have expired. The governor feels that since election has not been conducted, there needs to be, a caretaker to man the affairs while he finalizes, the plan for the election. But the local governments who were elected and their tenure has expired are contending that their tenure has been elongated by the House of Assembly. So in your own opinion, what would you think would be the headway, in Rivers State in resolving all of this issue? Just two questions before we would...
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with the first question first. How do we resolve this issue where the governors of each of these states are usurping the power of local governments? How do we resolve that? In any court litigation, there has to be an injured party. So an injured party cannot come from someone injured from the state. Let's say, for example, a local government. Let's say Alimosho local government. Alimosho local government resident is the one that has to sue in the high court, has to sue the state, saying that he's injured because that the money supposed to be coming to the local government is being usurped by the governor. They have not been able to take care of all the needful in the local government, the bad road, the trash, the garbage, and the schools. So an injured party is the one that has to go to high court. Nobody else can come from that local government. So that's where we start from. So they have to sue them. Then they can take it to the high court, maybe to the court of appeal, and to that. And at that point in time, the president now, if it's in line with the autonomy of the local government, can cease to give local state governors money that should have been known to the local governments of their state to give it to them. And say, I'm not giving you this funding until after they are sure that they are getting it, and they can even just give it to them directly. Even if they call on you that the funding for local government should not be given to the state government, to be given to the local government. So that can be solved. It is the masses, it is the citizens that can do that. But because the politicians we are really looking for each other, when we benefit each other, that's what they're looking for. And a lot of times it takes a lot for political will to be able to stand up against government or the president. Because the president, the government, the president, they are like that is semantic or exam relationship. So, for example, if you go right now with all this extra funding that they're giving out because of these subsidies that have been cancelled, the governments are getting about this money. They cannot tell them what to do with the money, but they can make some conviction if you want to, and say, you know what, I'm standing my ground, I cannot give you any more additional funding unless I know this money is going to local government. The president can do that. The government will not want to that because of political situations. So that's how I address that part. The situation in Rivers State is a very unusual situation, because now we have the National Assembly that technically belongs to different party, which is the APC, because they have renounced their PDP membership. They said they are APC. By the same time, the court said recently, said no, that is not the case. We are saying PDP, because the government wants to suspend them, all of them, saying that they are not a member of the State Assembly because they say they are different party. The High Court told not to rest, and said that no, they are still a member, but they are PDP. They have not declared their position voted. So they are the one that is because I know that part that elongating of this local government table. But if that is the case, that is because the party in the State Assembly, which is technically APC, is the one elongating it, because the local government chairman belongs to, again, they have told their leaders to APC, so they are told to that. But the government is saying your terms have expired. I can replace them with the caretaker committee until new election is committed. So in this situation, both parties appear to be right, because the government have the right. If your term has expired, there has not been any election, you can have a temporary caretaker. But at the same time, National Assembly also are the ones that have power to regulate local government. So the question is that how do we resolve this matter? It has to be resolved on the court level. But both of them seems to have their own respective power. Unless we come together or have an election carried out very quickly, this drama will continue, and then it's going to take the people of Rivers State.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. William Sidney Santana, for your insightful analysis. We might also need to call you back, because we'll take the second topic concerning the issue of the Emirate Tozzle in Kano State. But for now, we'll let you go while we continue with the rest of the show, and we'll get back to you when we need your opinion on the issue concerning that Tozzle. Thank you very much for
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes, concerning what he has said.
Yes,
I agree with him that in this country we actually need a system where the local government councils are totally independent of the states. And then I believe also that there is need for the National Assembly to amend the Constitution to avoid any ambiguity. Of course, we know that the Constitution in Section 7 guarantees a democratically elected local government councils. That's what the Constitution has provided for. Now, where the need for amendment has to do with Section 162 of the Constitution, subsection 5 and 6. Then we also look at 7 and 8. Section 5 talks about the money for the federal government, the revenue from the federal government that is to be shared among the tier of government. That is in order. But you see, the area where there's where there appears to be a conflict is that the Constitution says that the money from the federal account will be shared into three: the federal government, the state government, and the local government. Then Section 1 subsection 6 says that there should be a state joint local government account. And that account is an account where the money is meant for the state and local government to be paid into. And then Section 7 goes on to say that the state is to pay to the local government councils the amount meant for them in accordance with the formula prescribed in the National Assembly. While Section 8 goes on to say that The State House of Assembly will also decide the proportion, how this is to be done. Now, that is why some governors believe that since the Constitution says that should be a joint account between the state and the local government councils, and then the money, instead of being paid directly to the councils, are not paid to the councils through the governors or the state government. That has created, a leeway for governors to now sit on the amount. And then the conflicting provisions as to who decides the way the amount of money meant for the local government councils. Is it the National Assembly? Is it the State Assembly? These things need to be clearly resolved. But, at the by the provisions of the Constitution, Section 162, the money is to be paid into, to be divided between or shared between the federal government, the state government, and the local government. The proper thing in circumstances is the one that goes to the federal government goes to the federal government. Nobody contests to the federal government as to the money that is meant for the federal government. The one for the states goes to the states. The federal government does not interfere with the money meant for the state government. The same thing should apply to the local government councils. Since we are saying that there's a three-tier system of government, unlike what appears to be in operation now, where we have a kind of federal government with unitary features. And again, like the lawyer from the United States of America has pointed out, there is meant to be a clear-cut division in terms of the powers of this three-tier system of government. There are areas that are within the exclusive jurisdiction of the federal government to handle. There are areas and powers given to the state government. There are equally areas and powers given to the local government, and of course the local government is the government that is closest to the masses at the grassroots level.
All right, thank you very much for that angle to this whole discussion.